Hey everyone, we have another update video for you. I know it's been a long time, but it's been a busy few months, but we're excited to jump in and tell you some of the things that have been going on. So at the time of filming this, it is October 4th, and I think the last time we had an update video was beginning of August. In August, our last mission team we had, they helped us do a game night at the community center where we had a bunch of card games and dominoes and board games, and they also supplied ice cream. And so we had a lot of families from the church, but also outside the church come to that. We got to see a family from Ultimate Frisbee. The mom we hadn't met before, she came and her kids came. It was a lot of fun. So it was just a really fun way to meet people in the neighborhood and just hang out and play games. Also with ESL, we decided to go to the zoo one day for class. A lot of our students wanted to come with us to our zoo family day. So we're like, why not just take our students? And so we went and spent the morning and afternoon there, and it was a lot of fun learning the different names and different languages, getting to hang out and be together. And it was just sweet to see how God has built this friendship and community out of our ESL class. And then lastly, in August, we got to go to Oklahoma for about 10 days, I think, and spoke at several churches and got to see a bunch of family, a bunch of friends, and rest. And it was just a great time just to be home. And it's always good to see you guys and people who have prayed for us, encouraged us, and support us, and just get to be together. And so it was a really sweet time.
So in September, we had a lot of fun things restart and happen this month. And so one of those things, we had a Labor Day picnic inside, and that was just a good time of community. We also were able to start back up our different weekly ministries. We started up our Bible studies. We have one on Monday night, that's online. We have one on Wednesday nights, that's in person. We have our kids and family service, and I have a small group of parents. And we were also able to start up our young adult Bible study. And so this is something we've been praying for since before even getting our apartment, wanting to have people here. And it's been just an awesome time to get together. We've been reading through the book of John and just to dig into the word and to encourage one another and just to have community with people in this same season of life as us. We were also able to start back up ESL on September 7th. And so that day we had placement testing just to see where our students were at. We've been having class consistently each week, and we've had such a great turnout, such a great response this year. We've had about 10 to 12 students each week come, and they're variety of levels. And so we have people that don't know anything and people who are more advanced and just want to learn more so they can help their kids in school. And so that's just been a really sweet time. Challenging in some ways to figure out how to lead that, how to help each student, but also just such a sweet time of just being able to build new relationships and new connections with students. And so we also just see part of the reason why we're here is to reach the nations, and that is feasible here in this neighborhood. Just in ESL alone, we've had on one Wednesday people from 7 different countries, and since then we've had people sign up from 3 other different countries. And so God is just here moving in this place, and we're excited to build relationships, and hopefully these relationships will grow into gospel opportunities. And so that's just been a really sweet thing. And lastly, a new thing that started up in September is a youth study hall.
So the youth study hall has been an idea we've had really since last year. Once things started getting cold and we couldn't play Frisbee, I would play basketball last year, and no one wants to play basketball when it's freezing outside. And so we have the community center that we meet in on Sundays and Wednesdays, and our idea was, what if we just open it up for students to come and study? And so to promote that, the first day of school at the beginning of September, we went out one morning to the one high school we have in our neighborhood, and we passed out 8 dozen donuts. We went to Dunkin' Donuts and stole their entire supply, and got a bunch of donuts, set up a table with a sign, and we just passed out free donuts. And we were yelling at teenagers to come get a donut. And We got to meet some freshmen that were really nervous and encouraged them, and got to meet some bus drivers and faculty. And so we gave out about 5 dozen donuts just from the table. And then at the end of it, I was able to take 3 dozen just to the faculty, and I got to meet some of the teachers and the people there. And it was really encouraging to see God bless that, to give us favor that morning with students, but also with teachers. And so the following week, we opened up the community center from 2:30 to 4 as a study hall with pen and paper and tables and like some music and some snacks for students to come and hang out and study in a quiet and safe place. Also some games, which some of you guys helped get for us to help provide for that ministry. So students that come, they can study, but they can also hang out. And the goal and the hope is to build relationships with them, to build trust, and to get to know them. And the desire is from that to start a youth Bible study. So at 2:30 to 4, we have the study hall, and then at 4 o'clock, we promote that we have a Bible study for whatever students would want to stay. They can hang out, and we read through the Bible together. So far with the study hall, we have not had any students come in. And that has been a hard thing, because all the students just walk by the community center, and we're sitting in there and we're waving, and they're like, I don't know you. But we've had almost every week someone from faculty, some teacher, a parent, see what we're doing, and they're excited, and they take a picture of the flyer, and they want to tell people about it. And so we're hoping that consistency, just keeping it open each week, students will see what we're doing, teachers will tell students about it. Today I went to the high school to try to meet some people and build that relationship. So our hope is that God would just do things that we can't do. He would give us trust and favor that we can't force ourselves, and people would come. And so it's been exciting to see the relationship with faculty grow. So now we're just praying that students would come to that. Also, kids ministry. Kids ministry has been fun to be back in the swing of things. I felt like I was gone for a few weeks getting to do that. But we first went through creation, and then we went through sin and how sin entered the world and what sin is and how it affects everything. And now we're talking about God's promises through Abraham and his people. That has been good. We've also got to see consistently 6 to 10 kids each week. There's one family that's been coming since VBS this past summer, and they've been coming consistently. There are a handful of families that are kind of on the fringe. They pop in every other week, once a month. And if every kid that consistently came was there, we'd probably have over 15 kids. Which is a little overwhelming, because I don't know how to handle 15 kids right now. But what a problem to have. So we're just hoping that God would continue to bless it, that these families would come back, they'd be consistent, and also the kids that do come, they would just learn, and they would just grow.
So with all of that being said, we have some prayer requests. So speaking of kids in youth ministry, you can be praying, as Ben said, that kids will come to the youth ministry, especially as the weather has gotten so cold so quickly, that kids will just desire to pop in and to study, and that we'll get to build relationships and get to start a youth group and a youth Bible study. Starting from ground zero is hard, and so just praying that God would work in these youth's heart and that they would just come. You can also be praying for kids ministry, that God would just continue to grow this ministry, that bring the families, and that with the growth, that God would also provide the leadership and the help in that. It's hard to wrangle 6 to 10 kids, and if we had all 15 show up, that'd be even more difficult, from just young toddlers to the older kids. And so just that God would provide, just build up leadership in our church in that as well. You can be praying for me for ESL. Like I said, we have students that know nothing. We have students that they are more advanced, and so just wisdom on how to meet each student's need, and just wisdom on leading that ministry, and also just prayer that we get to build relationships and connections that lead to gospel conversations, and that also. Another fun thing that we have coming up is we're doing our first ever fall festival. So we're going to do it on October 30th after our blessing bag giveaway. We're going to set up a few carnival games and have hot dogs and nachos and a ton of candy, and we're gonna do pumpkin carving and face painting. It's gonna be so much fun. I'm getting so excited. But this is a brand new thing for our church to do, and so just prayers as we put it all together and figure it all out. This is an event that is not really offered anywhere else in this neighborhood. Our neighborhood has 30,000 people in it, and normally trick-or-treating here, you just go from store to store. You don't go apartment to apartment. And so there is nothing really like this offered here in this neighborhood. And so we have no clue what's gonna happen, how many people are gonna show up. We just know we need a lot of candy.
Yes.
And so you can just be praying for us as we put that together, and that God would just work through that to bring families and children and youth to our church also. And lastly, you can just continue to pray for us as we live here in this neighborhood now. We desire to just meet more of our community, to meet more young adults, to hopefully get them to come to Bible study, to just build deeper connections here. And so you can just continue to pray for favor just with our neighborhood. And it's just been sweet to walk around and see people, and God has definitely just been working. And so we definitely appreciate your prayers as we keep on.
As always, thank you for watching. Thank you each month, or I guess every other month, watching our videos and looking at the things that God is doing in this neighborhood. It is humbling that we get to be here, that God would use us, that He would let us be here, He would provide the way. And so thank you for watching. Thank you for praying for each of these things, for going to God and giving Him the requests that we have and what our hopes and dreams and desires are. Thank you for those that support us. Again, we would not be here without you. We would not get to fully commit to working at the church and being with the people and having that freedom to serve in random ways and do random things. We would not be able to do that if it wasn't by God's grace and the obedience of His people. So thank you so much for those of you that support us financially. Thank you for those that support us through prayer and encouragement. We're so thankful for you, and we're excited to share with you what God's going to do this month. So with that being said,
oh
wow, you want to say it?
No, I just forgot how we did it. It's been 2 months.
Like Veggie Tales. God made you special,
and He loves you very much.
With that being said,
we're gonna shut up now. Much better.